Right guys, welcome back to a brand new video, and today we are back for some more F1 2019 career mode once again, and this is round 5 of the season for the Spanish Grand Prix. If you guys missed the last episode at Baku, you can go watch it by clicking the link in the top right hand corner of your screen. But guys, we are here to kick off the European season, and I just want to say quickly a massive thank you guys for the support on the channel recently, and also on this particular series. You know, it's my main series on my channel, and you know, you guys that stick around and still watch to this day, I greatly appreciate it. And I just want to say a massive thank you to all you guys that still watch the series to this day, like the videos, comment on the videos, and just generally support the channel. But in terms of this episode, we are here at Spain, and we do have a major chassis upgrade for the brakes on the car this race, and we had 2 minor engine upgrades in the last episode, which means in the last couple of races we have progressed quite nicely, and we've actually jumped up to the second quickest team along with Racing Point. Also, you've got Alfa Romeo and also Renault and Ferrari seemingly on a bit of a recovery now. Ferrari really pushing forward in the last 2 races in terms of upgrades, and Mercedes still sitting at the very bottom of the table. But we moved to practice around Catalonia, and overall it was a pretty good session, to be honest with you. We found the qualifying performance test by a 1/10 of a second, but even then the car generally felt pretty decent around here, and it seems quite close between Racing Point, ourselves, and also Williams, who have been the team to beat really this season. You know, Leclerc especially, the Leclerc-Williams combination has been very strong, and even Magnussen as well in the other Williams has been very competitive. So they're going to be the targets to beat, and I think with the upgrades it's going to bring the field a lot closer together, and I'm actually looking forward to this session because it's a bit of a shorter lap. You know, engine power isn't as important around here, which is something we have been struggling with a little bit lately, and I feel like we can maybe put a performance in that I think will be quite decent. But overall, we're going to see how that one pans out, and fingers crossed my prediction comes true and we can have a decent qualifying, because we haven't had a very good record of qualifying this season so far, and I think, you know, we've struggled to really make it to the top 10 in most races so far. I say most races, it's only been 3 races so far, but you get what I mean. You know, we haven't really had that consistency about us, so hopefully we can turn that around here today, and we're going to try and get this car more to where it should be, you know, more where it belongs, and try and improve the recovery of the McLaren team as a whole. So as we move to Q1, I should say qualifying now really as a whole, you can see that we're currently on our first lap, and it was actually a pretty good opening lap. Really good consistent banker to get a good idea as to where the car is and, you know, what the limits are. And generally speaking, there wasn't much time to shave off this lap as we cross the line and set a 1:14.3, only 2/10 off the pace actually, and we go third at the time. And then went out for a second run, and this one was unfortunately ruined by running a bit wide out of turn 3 and picking up a track extension. I turned in too early, and that made me run wide, and unfortunately the lap isn't going to count, so we are going to have to abandon that one, and we're currently in P5. So again, we need to try and get back on the pace, as Leclerc's currently P1 in the Williams, and I want to see if we can try and improve. So here we are then, we're going to go for one final run, currently in 6th place with about 20 seconds to go. We're going to cross the line, and there is rain tomorrow on the race, so there's no need to worry about tyre savings, so that's why we're going out at the end of the session. And we're now down to P7 here, but towards turn 1 we go, and you want to brake just before the 50-meter board, down to 4th, possibly 3rd gear if you need it, attack the inside curve at turn 2, and then open up turn 3 as much as you can, and then carry the exit speed all the way through and up towards turn number 4. Brake as the last white line appears on the left hand side, down to 4th gear, try and keep a nice tight line, and then let the car run wide and open it up on the exit, bring it over to the right hand side to then attack the apex a little bit through this kind of downhill left-hander. Really easy to lock up the front left like I did there, but so far so good as we make our way into 7 and 8, a little left-right chicane. Really important to get a good exit out of this one, because it's going to dictate the momentum you get up the hill through turn 9 and all the way down the back straight as we open up DRS, and we're about 2/10 up here as we now look at the 100-meter board as our reference for the brake zone into the hairpin, trying to pick up the apex quickly back on the throttle. Not ideal there, getting on the curve, that makes me lose the back end slightly, and we get quite a poor exit really, not ideal, but we're still up as we now make our way towards the final couple of corners here, and it's all about just holding it together and not throwing the lap away. Currently we are in P9, so a lot of cars and a lot of teams have improved in the last couple of minutes, so we need to try and step up here as we go through the final corner, and we are going to improve by nearly 2/10 of a second as we cross the line, and that lap is going to be good enough to get us back in the top 5, and a very strong qualifying there, a very close competitive qualifying, you could say, from Perez to Verstappen from 1st to 9th, really close, really competitive, but crucially we get a top 5, and Sainz actually got 3rd, and that top 3 extremely close in qualifying there. So overall a pretty decent qualifying. I think I could have got 4th on a perfect lap, but it wasn't to be, and we are going to start on the 3rd row alongside Lewis Hamilton. But a decent qualifying, and fingers crossed Sainz can get a good start, as will I, hopefully. It's going to be a wet race, so you never know what can happen, but either way, that's it for qualifying here at Spain, and we're now going to move into the race for the Spanish Grand Prix.
What does the Spanish Grand Prix have in store for us today, I wonder? I hope we see some tight wheel-to-wheel action down the main straight, circa Mansell and Senna way back in '91, or maybe we'll have a more strategic race here on a track where overtaking can be difficult. It's 730 metres from pole position down to a slippery turn 1 here, the first of 16 corners around this 2.89 mile racetrack. The long, wide turn 3 and the uphill right-hander of turn 9 can both be taken full throttle in the right conditions, but I doubt very much we'll be seeing any of that today. It's not going to be plain sailing for our drivers today, although with the sky falling as it is, perhaps sailing isn't too far from the truth. And Anthony Davidson, could be a wet one today. Great to have you with us. What are your thoughts?
It is a touch damp, isn't it? Well, as a driver, there are 3 big things to worry about when racing in these kind of conditions: standing water, tyre temperature and visibility. Judging distance to the cars around you is really tricky when you're driving through the vast amounts of spray that these wet weather Pirelli tyres kick up.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he starts from pole position. And it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Magnussen, Martinez and Hamilton, Gasly, Vettel, Russell and Daniel Ricciardo, Bottas, Norris, Antonio Giovinazzi and Albon, Stroll, Kvyat, Kimi Raikkonen and Sergio Perez. Grosjean and Nico Hülkenberg completes the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Right, so here we are then for the race at Catalonia. Full wet conditions, the entire race is what the expected forecast is, and we're starting from 5th place, therefore it could be an exciting race. Traditionally, I'm quite good in the rain, and the races have been good. I'm actually low-key confident that my chances are quite good. I think there could be a strong result on the cards here, and I'm hoping not just for myself, but also for Carlos Sainz as well, who starts directly in front of us. But in terms of strategy, you can see on screen, we are running the lowest fuel. Apparently that is 5.6 laps extra. I'm not quite sure how accurate that is, but we'll find out in a minute. As you can see on screen, the rain all the way through the race, and we're going to start on the full wet tyres. So strategy really kind of goes out the window unless we potentially go on intermediates, which I have seen before in these full rain conditions. But either way, we're going to jump into things here. Hopefully it's a decent race, and I fancy my chances to try and at least get onto the podium, and that would also be pretty good for the championship. So let's jump into it and let's get racing. It's time for the Spanish Grand Prix. Right, here we go. Let's try and get a good start then in these conditions as the 5 red lights come on. Lights out and away we go. And it is a good start off the line. First phase is good. We match all the cars in front. We do lose out in the second phase, and I've got a couple of cars going around the outside here. I'm going to try and be brave on the brakes and go down the inside to hold my position. Lewis, though, trying to go around the outside. I'm going to have the better momentum, though, and keep the racing line. Hamilton stays behind us. Sainz has dropped the place. He's down to P4, unfortunately for us as a team. Crucial, though, we hold on to the 4th place, and now we're going to see how this race pans out. We've got 2 Williams and 2 McLarens in the top 5, and then a Red Bull sprinkled in between. So this could be an interesting race. Concentration absolutely key. And I'm hoping the setup also pays off as well, because I'm running a little bit higher aero than I would do. So I'm kind of hoping that also pays dividends for us, but I don't want to give away too much straight line speed. But let's see how this one pans out. At the minute, a lot of rain coming down, which should suit me, and I'm traditionally quite good in the really heavy rain conditions, so I fancy my chances. I'm going to give the AI a lap or 2, because they tend to run full engine power for the first 1 or 2 laps of the race, and that's when I'm going to start making my move and trying to get into this race a little bit. So patience for now, but the chances will arrive and we can start making progress. So let's keep our head screwed on straight, stay sharp, and get ready for any possible opportunities to make any overtakes happen. I've also just realised I do have indeed 5.5 laps of fuel, so I've put it in rich mix, and we're pretty much going to be enriched the entire race, I think. Let's try and get some of this extra weight off the car, because we're really heavy at the minute. I need to try and burn that fuel up. Looks like Sainz to be going for a move on Magnussen here. We'll keep an eye on this. Let's see if Sainz can pull off an overtake. Although I don't think he's going to make it happen around the outside of turn 3, will he? Oh my god, he is. He's going for it. Sainz around the outside of turn 3. Shades of Alonso. They're still side by side though into turn 4. Well, I think Sainz might have this one now on the inside for turn 5. Trying to keep up with the pace here, but I am struggling a little bit to match the leader's pace. These two are still side by side, absolutely unreal. It looks like Sainz might have just got the measure of him now. Yes, he has. Wow. Fair play. Well done, Carlos. That's the reason why I'm going slow. My tyres are overheating so much. They were orange a moment ago. So I've just got to try and cool them off a bit and find a driving style that works for me to drive and not absolutely kill the tyres on the left hand side. So I've got to try and be smooth. Okay, tyres are slowly cooling off and I'm finding a bit of pace. Good news is there's been a change for the lead as we set a personal best. Leclerc has been overtaken by Verstappen and Sainz is still holding on to third place impressively, so if I can just find a way to cool the tyres and keep it under control, I fancy myself to start making some progress and maybe getting past Magnussen here, but I've got to try and find a way to keep the tyres under control because they're really suffering at the minute. Another personal best pace is starting to pick up a little bit. I'm starting to drop Lewis and close in on Magnussen. I'm starting to learn how to drive whilst managing the overheating issues. I'm just, taking more risks through the left-handers where my right-hand side tyres are not overheating that much. I'm trying to focus on my exits rather than my cornering speeds on the right-handers. It's working okay. I just hope it keeps working. I need to keep burning this fuel off. This fuel is also hurting my tyre temperatures. I need to lighten up. The AI are picking up their pace. Verstappen 31.5. I'm now going to have Lewis for company here, unfortunately. Oh, it's a big mistake for the chicane. But my tyres are overheating. Even my right side ones are starting to cook now. Here comes Lewis. I've got to be brave on the brakes. On the inside line. Use third gear. We'll just get in front. There we go. And stay in front of the Racing Point driver. But this isn't good. I don't know what the answer is. I just got to keep burning fuel, but I'm not burning it fast enough. You love it when all four of your tyres are overheating. There's literally nothing I can do in this race. I'm an absolute passenger, and it's so annoying. The worst thing is I've got to run rich mix to burn the fuel off to help myself out, but the rich mix is not helping because I'm struggling even more to get traction down, which is why my rear is overheating. It's kind of a contradiction, but there's no other way for me to burn fuel, so I just got to keep burning it, and hopefully in 5-6 laps time we'll be a little bit better off.
We have excess fuel weighing us down. Set the fuel mix to mode 3. Let's push.
Yeah, I'm working on it, mate. Don't worry about that. It's not my fault you gave me so much fuel. I can feel, when I run standard I feel quicker, but I need to get rid of this extra fuel, man. Hopefully for the second stint in the race we'll be more competitive, because at the minute we ain't. On personal best it's some kind of progress anyway. If I could just get past Magnussen I'll be happy, because then it's a 3-4 for McLaren and I'd be pretty happy with that result if it ended like that. But I want to get past this Williams because they're pulling away in the constructors and I want to try and claw some points off them. On 31.4. That's the leader's pace. We're about a second off every single lap. That's why we're not really on the pace. 32.5, that's just not good enough. Simple as that. The fuel's now below 2 laps, so we are getting there, but we need a few more laps. We're not quite low enough. Oh, that's not going to help. That's a massive lock up. That's going to put Lewis right on the back of me, and that's going to overheat my tyres even more. Man, I'm concentrating so much. Lewis is trying to look for a move. We're going to hold it on the inside. This is the better corner for us. We'll shit out the line. And Hamilton will probably have to give up. There we go. We'll hang him out to dry. Come on, fuel, burn off, please. We've lost so much time to Magnussen in this lap. So much after all that hard work. They're starting to queue up behind us now. 4 cars waiting. I just don't have the pace. Please, come on.
2 laps until our pit window opens. We're going to put you on the full wet tyre.
Personal best, I'm trying to use the wet parts of the track. I'm considering an undercut just to get me back in this race, using the fresh rubber. But then again, I'm also considering going to the end of the race on these and not stopping at all. That could be a possibility that might get me back in this race. Verstappen pits along with Leclerc. Another personal best from us. This is going to be interesting, really interesting, because I'm heavily considering going to the end and not pitting and suffering with a tyre wear that would get me back into the race. I mean, I'd be in the net race lead. Carlos pits along with Magnussen, so we are going to inherit the race lead. But having said that, I'm on for another personal best here. That's 3 in a row now.
Box, we're coming in this lap.
32.0, and that's because the fuel's starting to burn down, that's why. I'm going to go for a few more and kind of judge it and see how we get on. And I'm also going to judge the gap to Verstappen and Leclerc behind to see what the pace is like and whether it's worth staying out or not. Well, make it 4 personal bests in a row.
We're not going to be able to run in this engine mode much longer. We're about a lap over target. Drop down to mix too soon.
Finally into the 131s, but Verstappen's just dropped to a low 130. Or 130 mid, should I say. So they are going to catch me. But do I feel confident that I can stay out and race them? That's the question. Okay, we've burnt off our fuel finally. We're going to use it up for the rest of the straight, and then I'm going to hit it into standard mix. And that hopefully will give me more pace, I'm hoping for anyway. If this doesn't help up my overall lap time, then we don't have an answer, and we're just going to have to try and defend as much as we can against Leclerc and Verstappen. The good news is, if we can hold on for a few laps, I might be able to back them into signs who might have a chance. So let's stay optimistic, you never know what could happen. Okay, Verstappen's on the back of me now. It's important to get good exits every single lap out of here to keep the Red Bull at bay. That's exactly what we want right there. That's a really good exit. Right, focus on, let's stay sharp, try and use the wet part of the track whenever we can, and try and defend this lead.
Okay, some information on Raikkonen. They are out of the race.
Kimi retires, first retirement of the Grand Prix in the Mercedes.
Our data is showing some wear. Most likely you'll be able to feel it.
Oh, I can definitely feel it. But feeling it since lap 1, and it's not tyre wear, it's tyre temperatures. Right, here comes Max, he's going to be close. Left rear 45%. Not good, but we can manage. I'm going to try and get my fuel back on target because I'm looking at our lap time and our pace, and we're not actually getting fuel back on target. So I'm going to make sure we are positive for fuel on the Delta. Verstappen's closer than ever. We might be in trouble here. He's gaining, but that's actually not enough, so we should be okay, I think, to stay in front. Yes, we will. As long as we keep getting them good exits and keeping it tidy on the brakes into turn 1, we'll be okay. Personal best, good pace, got to keep it going. I've got just about enough straight line speed to keep Verstappen behind. If it was Leclerc, I think I'd struggle more. But we can kind of match the Red Bull on the straight around here, which is good. That's a big lock up there. Pressure's building, and my front left is absolutely fried. I can feel it. Look at that. It's absolutely fried with that lock up. This is what we've been dealing with all race. If I win this, I'll be so happy because it's not normal to have these kind of overheating issues. It really isn't. Although this is going to be Verstappen's best chance, I think, to have a look at me. So we've got to try and get a good exit, which we don't. Come on, let's be good through here at least. There we go, that will do. Verstappen's close enough though, so we are going to have to defend. He's got his engine turned up as well. Here he comes. Look at that, look at the straight line speed we've got. We're actually defending. Early on the brakes, being extra cautious because of the front left overheating, but we somehow outbrake Verstappen and stay in front. And now Sainz has joined the action, so hopefully he can throw a spanner in the works. Dare I say, if he overtakes both of these guys, I'll let him go and I'll let him win the race. I'll hold him up for him. And I'll let him win his home race. I'm not bothered, I'm really not. I just want to get the points at this point for the team and pick up the 1-2. Look at this, Sainz has taken third from Leclerc. I think he's made it, or at least they're battling away anyway. But Sainz is trying, he's still going for it. Come on Sainz, you can do this. I'm fighting to stay in front of Verstappen, who's really going for it, but Sainz has made the move. I can see in the minimap. He has taken third. If he can get Verstappen, I'll let him go and let him win the race because we need the points. And I think I'm confident I can hold this to the end. I think I can keep Verstappen and Leclerc behind, so let's hope for the best. Come on, Carlos. Not the best exit. Verstappen will have a run on me here, so we are going to have to defend once again. Looks like Sainz has got the pace on Leclerc and he's actually pulling away, which is good to see. Verstappen around the outside. We're going to hang on though. Put the squeeze on. Hopefully that will allow Sainz to put some pressure on him, possibly. That's my current tyre condition. 55 left rear as there's a yellow flag at turn 1 and 2. I just realised. We just got to keep doing our thing though, keep doing our own race, forget about everybody else. Okay, good exit. But Verstappen's close. Sainz is looking for it as well. We're going to hold the inside. Verstappen's very late on the brakes this time, but we're going to get the momentum and swing through. Come on, Sainz, get past, son. We need you to make a move.
There's 5 laps of fuel remaining.
This could be a massive, massive result for us if it works out.
The radar suggests that this heavy rain will be with us for a while now.
I'm trying to back Verstappen into Sainz a little bit so that he gets a worse exit. This could be a chance. Max and Sainz slipstreaming each other here. Come on Sainz, you got this. Here he goes, he's going to go to the outside. I'm going to brake early to give Sainz the opportunity. And he's going to take it. Has he taken it? No, he hasn't. He's missed out. I can see my mirrors. That was a chance right there. We need that to happen again. Come on, Carlos. Verstappen defends the inside of the turn 4 here, surprisingly. Also, Magnussen has joined the party now in the other Williams. Even more important now for Sainz to get past.
Caution, caution. The virtual safety car is out. Reduce speed and maintain a positive delta. Drop your speed. Our delta is too low and we risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
Pierre Gasly out of the race in the Alpha. I'm going to get a chance to save some tyre temperature, crucially, and get things back under control, which is good. Although, to be fair, the VSC speeds, we're still going to have to push a little bit. But you can see there my tyres are under temperature, and I can feel the grip straight away. The pace. Let's just make sure we don't speed here. This restart is going to be critical. Come on, Carlos, I believe. Okay, good restart. Let's see if we have the pace. At this point, a 1-3 would be a good result. The grip is unreal. I can feel so much grip on the tyres. But they're going to instantly overheat again, so it won't last very long. I'm going to try one more time to get Sainz to get past Verstappen here, because I feel like Verstappen's got a bit too much pace. He's just got the edge. I mean, he's quicker than the Williams cars, and that says a lot. So I'm going to try and back him into Sainz a little bit through here. I'm going to obviously make sure I'm not under pressure. I've got to do it tactically. Now, full power. We've got fuel in the RS to burn.
We've pretty much burned off our excess fuel. We'll be back on target soon. Don't wait too long to turn the engine down.
Here comes Max. I'm going to match him on the brakes though. The tyres are under control when it comes to temperature, which is good for me. And Russell, purple lap. We'll take that. I've got so much grip, I'm actually 2/10 up on my personal best. Just from tyre temperature control. It's unreal. A little bit of oversteer there, but we've had a good exit. Personal best, 31.5. 2 laps to go here. I like where this is going. Verstappen's gaining on me, but he's not close enough, so we should be okay to take the racing line to turn 1. We're almost there. Come on, what's my tyres looking like? 64 on the left rear. I should be okay, I think. Ooh, struggling for rear grip. Verstappen looking for it. I had to cover the inside there and take an early apex.
Some information on Verstappen. They have some kind of mechanical problem.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Going on to the last lap of the race. This could be it. Come on the power. Here we go. Verstappen's in trouble. Here comes Sainz. I'm going to give him a slipstream. I'm going to try to anyway. This could be interesting. The Williams cars are also looking into turn 1. Looks like a Williams has sent one. It's Leclerc with a dive of all dives around the outside, and he's made a double overtake. This is not good. We've suddenly lost the podium. That's the worst possible outcome. We're going to have Leclerc for company for the entirety of the last lap. Looks like Magnussen's got through as well. Sainz is going backwards here. This is not good. I wonder if Sainz got wing damage. Oh no, we've thrown away a double podium. How has it even happened? Let's focus on getting the win though. Let's focus here. This is a big points haul for us as a team. Sainz is yet to get past Verstappen. Tyres feel so much better now though. Like, since that VSC, I've had a chance to cool them down, and they've not actually overheated properly since then. Made such a difference. But here we go. We've defended on the straights. We've had no pressure. It's looking like a 1-4 for McLaren here today as we make our way into Sector 3. But overall, it's been a smooth operation because we've managed to call the strategy beautifully. The no-stop works once again in the heavy rain conditions. Level 3 on 68%. Here we go, through the final chicane, through the final corner, easy on the throttle, and there we go. We're going to come through to win that first race for McLaren, and that was a smooth operator. Yes!
You worked hard for that one. Congratulations.
A beautiful performance from McLaren today. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
Rain always has the potential to liven up a race and mix up the order, and they've taken full advantage of that to claim the victory today. It's always a bit of a lottery when the conditions are like this, but they've managed to stay on circuit and have come out on top.
As the winners make their way up to the podium, one can only imagine the celebrations that will take place at McLaren tonight. Congratulations to everyone on the team, securing the win and proving they're a force to be reckoned with out on the track.
Right, so looking at the final race results here today for the Spanish Grand Prix, we win the race and pick up 25 World Championship points ahead of Leclerc and Magnussen. Sainz, who was looking so good for that podium, and it could have been a 1-2 for us today, and possibly a Sainz win on home turf. I was prepared to give it to him because of the championship standings. It just wasn't to be, and it's a 1-4. Still a good result and a massive haul of points. Leclerc and Magnussen second and third. Verstappen only fifth in the end with the car issues. Really troubling for him to have that right on the last lap. Sebastian Vettel P6 for Ferrari, and continuing their kind of resurgence lately and their improved race form. George Russell P7, Hamilton 8th in Racing Point, and he actually picked up the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, so the fastest point goes to Racing Point, which is fine by me, as Ricciardo gets 9th and Albon rounds out the top 10 and the point scorers. Perez missing out on the points, surprisingly, in the Racing Point there, ahead of Norris, Stroll, Giovinazzi, Kvyat, Hulkenberg, Bottas, Grosjean, and then Gasly and Raikkonen retiring from the Grand Prix here today. In terms of what that race means for the standings, we jump up to second place, and we've really turned it around the last couple of races. Having said that, Leclerc has a 38-point cushion at the top of the table, and that's why we needed Leclerc to finish fourth, really, behind me, Sainz, and also Verstappen, because he's putting away in the points a bit too much. But either way, Sainz up to 7th place, overtaking George Russell there, who's currently equal on points with him, and it's looking pretty decent for us. In terms of the constructors, though, if we have a little look, we're currently in third. We overtake Red Bull Racing, and we're actually only 7 points behind Racing Point, so it's looking pretty good. But Leclerc and Williams, that combination, just a bit too far away at the moment, and we need to try and catch them a little bit, and hopefully that will happen over the next couple of races. But overall, guys, that is going to be it for the race here today at Spain. If you guys enjoyed it, then drop a like on the video, and yeah, we're now going to move into some upgrades because we need to try and improve this McLaren car moving forward into the rest of the European season.
It doesn't get much better than a win at this track, does it? You performed better than last weekend. What changed? You were cutting your way through the field during the race. You're breaking all expectations. What's your secret? Appreciate your time.
Right, so here we are then on the laptop, and we have 3,100 points to spend, and we are going to invest those very, very accordingly to a couple of areas of the car that need some work. So, first of all, there is an ultimate drag reduction upgrade on the car here, and that's for the aerodynamics, and we are going to get that on for the car. That will arrive in Austria in 4 races time, and we have, I believe, enough points to at least purchase one of these minor chassis upgrades, and I think I'm going to go for this one here because obviously it's the end of the tree, and we can end that off, and I'm just going to miss out, unfortunately, on getting the next one, which is for the master cylinder for the brakes, but that will hopefully unlock the calipers. So we're going to save the rest of those points and we'll invest those sometime soon. But again, the car continues to improve. We will have a small upgrade on the car for the next race once again for Monaco, this time for the brakes, and yeah, pretty much it's looking like we're going to hit 100% completion rate on the R&D tree this season. But yeah guys, that is going to be it for this video here today. If you guys enjoyed it, then drop a like and also get subscribed if you are new for daily Formula 1 content, and also turn on notifications to not miss any videos from me, and finally check out these 2 videos on your screen if you have missed them. But other than that guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next one very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.